Managing intense emotions. Everyone experiences strong feelings sometimes. It's a fundamental part of being human. Think about those moments when anger flares so hot it feels like a physical burn, or sadness washes over you so completely that moving seems impossible, or anxiety grips you with such force that your breath catches in your throat. These intense emotional experiences can feel incredibly overwhelming, as if they're taking over your entire being and dictating your every thought and action. It's during these times that many of us feel lost, confused, or even ashamed, wishing we could simply turn off the emotional faucet altogether. This chapter is designed to help you navigate those powerful inner storms, offering practical strategies to regain a sense of control and calm. Intense emotions aren't just uncomfortable, they can significantly interfere with daily life, making it difficult to focus at school or work, maintain healthy relationships, or even enjoy simple pleasures. When your emotional thermostat is set too high, even small stressors can trigger a disproportionate reaction, leading to arguments, impulsive decisions, or withdrawal. You might find yourself cycling through extreme highs and lows, feeling like you're on a relentless emotional roller coaster with no brakes. This constant state of heightened arousal or deep despair can be exhausting, leaving you drained and questioning your ability to cope with life's challenges effectively. Emotions, at their core, serve a purpose. They are signals that tell us something important about our internal state or the world around us. Fear warns us of danger, sadness signals loss, and joy tells us what brings us contentment. However, when these signals become too loud or too frequent, their message gets distorted, making it hard to understand what they're truly trying to communicate. Instead of helpful guidance, intense emotions can become a source of distress, clouding our judgment and making it nearly impossible to respond to situations in a thoughtful, effective way. Our goal isn't to silence these signals, but to learn how to tune them to a manageable volume. Dialectical Behavior Therapy, or DBT, offers a powerful toolkit for managing these overwhelming feelings, not by suppressing them, but by teaching you how to regulate their intensity and frequency. Emotion regulation skills are all about understanding your emotions, reducing your vulnerability to extreme emotional shifts, and changing how you react to them. It's a process of learning to ride the waves of emotion rather than being capsized by them, allowing you to experience your feelings without letting them control your entire life. This approach acknowledges that all emotions are valid, even the difficult ones, and provides a pathway to respond to them skillfully. Learning to manage intense emotions is a cornerstone of building a life worth living, as it directly impacts your overall well-being and ability to thrive. When you can skillfully navigate your emotional landscape, you gain a greater sense of agency and confidence, knowing you have the tools to handle whatever comes your way. This improved emotional control leads to clearer thinking, more stable relationships, and a significant reduction in suffering. Imagine being able to experience a strong emotion without it completely derailing your day or leading to actions you later regret. This is the freedom that emotion regulation can offer you. It's important to understand that some individuals are naturally more emotionally sensitive, meaning they experience emotions more intensely and react more strongly to situations. This isn't a flaw or a weakness. It's simply how their emotional system is wired, often leading to both profound joys and deep sorrows. If you identify with this, know that you are not alone, and these skills are particularly designed to support you. Recognizing this inherent sensitivity can be the first step towards self-compassion, helping you understand why certain situations might feel more impactful for you than for others, and empowering you to seek effective coping strategies. One crucial first step in managing intense emotions is learning to identify and label them accurately. Often, when we're overwhelmed, we might just say, "I feel bad," or "I'm upset," which are vague terms that don't give us much information to work with. Taking a moment to pause and ask yourself, "What emotion am I actually feeling right now?" can be incredibly powerful. Is it anger, sadness, fear, frustration, shame, or perhaps a mix of several emotions? Pinpointing the specific emotion is like giving it a name, which immediately starts to reduce its overwhelming power and helps you understand its message. Labeling your emotions creates a slight but significant distance between you and the feeling, allowing you to observe it rather than being completely consumed by it. Instead of being your anger, you can say, I am feeling anger, which creates a space for observation and choice. This act of naming can activate different parts of your brain, shifting you from a purely reactive state to a more reflective one. It's a fundamental mindfulness practice that helps you move from automatic emotional responses to more intentional and skillful ways of coping, giving you a sense of agency over your inner experience. Once you can identify an emotion, the next step is to consider its function. What is this emotion trying to tell you or motivate you to do? For example, anger might signal that a boundary has been crossed or an injustice has occurred, while sadness might indicate a loss or a need for comfort and connection. Understanding the message behind the emotion can help you decide if the emotion is justified in the situation and what, if any, action is needed. Sometimes the message is clear and helpful, while other times the emotion might be a leftover response from a past experience that isn't relevant to the present moment. A key component of emotion regulation involves reducing your emotional vulnerability, which means taking proactive steps to make yourself less susceptible to intense emotional swings. Think of it as building a stronger emotional immune system. This often starts with attending to your basic physical needs, which are far more connected to your emotional state than you might realize. Are you getting enough sleep? Eating regularly and nutritiously? Engaging in some form of physical activity? Neglecting these fundamentals can leave you feeling depleted and much more prone to emotional intensity. When your body is tired, hungry, or lacking movement, your emotional resilience naturally decreases, making you much more vulnerable to intense emotional reactions. Imagine trying to navigate a challenging day on just a few hours of sleep. Every minor irritation feels magnified, and controlling your temper becomes significantly harder. Prioritizing consistent sleep, regular meals, and gentle exercise isn't just about physical health. It's a powerful strategy for stabilizing your mood and creating a buffer against emotional overwhelm. These seemingly simple self-care practices lay a solid foundation for managing your emotions effectively. Beyond physical well-being, actively seeking to increase positive emotional experiences is another vital strategy for managing intense emotions. This isn't about ignoring your pain or pretending everything is fine. Rather, it's about intentionally building moments of joy, contentment, and calm into your daily life. When you consistently engage in activities that bring you genuine pleasure, you create a reservoir of positive emotions that can help balance out the difficult ones. These positive experiences act as an antidote, reminding you that life contains more than just suffering and fostering a sense of hope and well-being. Think about what truly lights you up or brings you a sense of peace. Maybe it's listening to your favorite music. Spend time in nature, connecting with a supportive friend, pursuing a creative hobby, or simply enjoying a warm cup of tea in quiet contemplation. These aren't just distractions. They are deliberate acts of self-care that replenish your emotional energy and build emotional resilience. The more positive experiences you weave into your routine, the more robust your emotional system becomes, making it easier to bounce back from difficult feelings and maintain a more balanced perspective. Another powerful DBT skill for managing intense emotions is called opposite action. This technique involves identifying the unhelpful urge that often accompanies a strong emotion and then deliberately acting in the opposite way. For instance, if intense sadness makes you want to withdraw from everyone and isolate yourself, the opposite action might be to reach out to a trusted friend or go for a walk in a public place. This doesn't mean you're denying your feelings. Instead, you're challenging the automatic, often unhelpful behavioral response that the emotion typically triggers. The idea behind opposite action is that by changing your behavior, you can sometimes influence your emotions. If fear makes you want to avoid a situation that isn't actually dangerous, taking a small step towards that situation can reduce the fear over time. If anger makes you want to lash out, speaking softly or taking a time out can prevent escalation and allow the anger to dissipate. It takes courage to go against your immediate emotional urges, but with practice, Opposite action can be an incredibly effective way to prevent intense emotions from dictating your actions and making situations worse. Beyond actively changing your behavior, sometimes the most effective way to manage an intense emotion is simply to practice mindfulness of the current emotion without judgment. This means allowing the feeling to be there, observing it as it arises, peaks, and eventually passes, much like watching clouds drift across the sky. You don't try to push it away, analyze it excessively, or get caught up in its story. You simply notice it, perhaps naming it silently, and acknowledge its presence without adding any extra layers of self-criticism or panic. This non-judgmental stance is crucial for truly accepting the emotion. By mindfully observing your emotions, you create a space for them to exist without necessarily needing to act on them. This practice helps prevent the emotion from escalating further, as you're not fueling it with additional thoughts or reactions. You learn that emotions are temporary, like waves in the ocean, and even the most intense ones will eventually crest and recede. This acceptance, rather than resistance, paradoxically allows the emotion to move through you more freely, reducing its grip and restoring a sense of inner calm. It's a powerful way to ride the emotional wave until it naturally dissipates. Managing intense emotions is not about achieving perfect emotional control or never feeling strong emotions again. It's about building a robust toolkit of skills that empower you to navigate your inner world with greater wisdom and effectiveness. It's a journey of continuous learning, growth, and self-compassion, understanding that setbacks are part of the process. Each time you practice these skills, you strengthen your ability to respond to life's challenges with more resilience and less suffering, gradually cultivating a more balanced and peaceful emotional life. Remember, this path requires patience and kindness towards yourself, as changing deeply ingrained emotional patterns takes time and consistent effort. There will be days when the skills feel easy to apply and others when they seem impossible, but every attempt is a step forward. Embrace the learning process, celebrate your small victories, and approach your emotional experiences with curiosity rather than judgment. You are developing a profound capacity to care for yourself and handle life's inevitable ups and downs with greater grace and inner strength. As we delve deeper into this workbook, you'll find more detailed exercises and techniques for each of these emotion regulation strategies. The goal is to provide you with actionable steps, allowing you to gradually integrate these powerful DBT skills into your daily life. By mastering the art of managing intense emotions, you're not just coping, you're actively building a foundation for greater well-being, improved relationships, and a truly fulfilling existence, paving the way for the other essential skills we'll explore in the chapters to come. Improving relationships. Once you begin to effectively manage your own intense emotions, a natural and empowering next step often involves looking at how you connect with the people around you. Our lives are deeply intertwined with family, friends, partners, and even colleagues, forming a complex web of interactions. These connections can be a source of immense joy, comfort, and unwavering support, deeply enriching our daily experiences. However, they can also bring significant challenges, misunderstandings, and even pain, making us question our ability to relate. It's a very common experience to wish for smoother interactions, clearer communication, or to simply feel more understood by the people we truly care about. This section will dive into practical, evidence-based ways to build stronger, healthier relationships by applying powerful skills from dialectical behavior therapy. We'll explore how to navigate these essential connections with greater confidence, effectiveness, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Learning these specific skills can genuinely transform how you experience and contribute to your most important personal bonds. One of the core modules in DBT, aptly named Interpersonal Effectiveness, is specifically designed to help you navigate these often tricky social waters with greater ease. This module is all about learning how to get your needs met respectfully, maintain your self-respect in every interaction, and keep your important relationships strong and healthy over time. Think of it as a comprehensive toolkit for your social life, providing concrete strategies for asking for what you want, saying no when you need to, and resolving conflicts gracefully. These skills aren't about manipulating others or always getting your way through force. Instead, they focus on fostering clear, respectful communication and balanced, mutually beneficial interactions. When you consistently use interpersonal effectiveness skills, you learn to express yourself effectively while simultaneously considering the needs and genuine feelings of others. This crucial balance helps prevent misunderstandings, reduces unnecessary friction, and builds a solid foundation of mutual respect and understanding. It's truly about finding that sweet spot where you can advocate for yourself powerfully without inadvertently damaging the valuable connections you cherish. Ultimately, these skills empower you to build relationships that genuinely support and enrich your life, rather than leaving you feeling drained or unfulfilled. A particularly powerful tool within interpersonal effectiveness is the Dear Man skill, which provides a straightforward, step-by-step guide for making requests or for effectively saying no to something. Dear Man is a memorable acronym, with each letter representing a crucial step in ensuring your communication is both clear and impactful. The D stands for Describe the situation objectively, sticking to verifiable facts without adding any judgment or blame. E is for Express your feelings and opinions clearly and honestly, using I, statements to own your emotions rather than projecting them. A means assert your request or refusal directly and specifically, stating exactly what you want or don't want in no uncertain terms. R is for Reinforce, by explaining the positive outcomes that will occur if your request is met, or if your refusal is respected, highlighting the benefits. The MAN part of the acronym refers to maintaining your position with mindfulness, appearing confident in your delivery, and being open to negotiation if appropriate. This structured approach helps you stay focused, calm, and articulate, even during potentially challenging conversations. By diligently following Dear Man, you significantly increase your chances of being heard, understood, and respected, leading to more positive and desired outcomes in your interactions. It teaches you to communicate your needs with both clarity and conviction, making it much easier for others to comprehend and respond to you effectively. Let's consider a practical, everyday example to truly see how the Dear Man skill works in a real-life situation. Imagine you've been asked to take on an extra task at school or work, but you genuinely don't have the time or capacity for it right now. Instead of just blurting out an abrupt no or reluctantly agreeing and then resenting it, you can thoughtfully use Dear Man. First, you would describe the situation. I understand you need someone to lead the new project, and it sounds like an important initiative. Then, you express your feelings. I feel quite overwhelmed by my current commitments and am worried I won't be able to give this project the full attention it truly deserves. Next, you assert your request or refusal. Therefore, I need to decline leading this particular project at this time. Finally, you reinforce by explaining the positive outcomes. If I were to take it on now, I'm genuinely concerned it might negatively impact the quality of my other essential work, which I am very committed to doing well. As you deliver this message, remember the MAN. Be mindful of your ultimate goal. Appear confident in your decision, and be open to negotiation if they propose alternative solutions. This respectful yet firm approach helps you set healthy boundaries effectively, protecting your valuable time and precious energy. It clearly demonstrates that you've carefully considered the request and are communicating your response thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively or without consideration. Practicing Dear Man empowers you to take control of your commitments and maintain your overall well-being without succumbing to unnecessary guilt. While Dear Man helps you effectively get your needs met, the Give skill focuses specifically on keeping your relationships strong, positive, and enduring. Give stands for gentle, interested, validate, and easy manner. And cultivating these qualities is absolutely essential for building and maintaining deep, meaningful connections. Being gentle means using a soft, non-threatening tone of voice, carefully avoiding attacks, threats, or judgmental statements, and always showing genuine respect. Being interested involves truly listening to the other person, asking thoughtful questions, and showing sincere curiosity about their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. To validate means to acknowledge and understand the other person's emotions and experiences, conveying that their feelings make sense from their perspective. even if you don't necessarily agree with their viewpoint. Finally, having an easy manner involves being lighthearted when appropriate, using humor to diffuse tension, and avoiding overly intense or severely serious interactions that might create discomfort. These elements work together harmoniously to create an atmosphere of warmth, acceptance, and safety, making others feel genuinely valued and secure in your presence. When you consistently practice give, you naturally become a more approachable, trustworthy, and beloved person, significantly strengthening the bonds you share with others. It's fundamentally about fostering an environment where open communication, mutual understanding, and authentic connection can flourish naturally and effortlessly. Apple. Yin Give consistently helps ensure that your interactions leave both you and the other person feeling respected, understood, and deeply connected. Beyond simply getting your needs met and maintaining positive relationships, it's equally vital to maintain your own self-respect in all your interactions. The FAST skill helps you do just that, ensuring that you consistently act in ways that feel true to your deepest values and personal beliefs. The F stands for fair. Always be fair to yourself and to others, sticking firmly to your principles and actively avoiding unfair judgments or comparisons. The A is for apologies, no apologies. Avoid apologizing excessively for things that aren't truly your fault or for simply making a legitimate request that you have a right to make. The S means stick to your values. Never compromise your personal values, moral integrity, or deeply held beliefs just to get what you want or to please others, even when it feels difficult. The T is for truthful. Always strive to be honest and avoid lying, exaggerating, or making up excuses, even if facing the truth feels uncomfortable or challenging in the moment. Using FAST means standing firm in your convictions, treating yourself with the same profound respect and dignity you readily offer to others. It actively helps you avoid situations where you might later feel guilt, shame, or regret because you went against your inner moral compass. This skill is particularly crucial when you feel pressured to do something you genuinely don't want to do, or to say something you don't truly believe in. By consistently applying FAST, you build a strong, unwavering sense of self-worth and earn the genuine, lasting respect of those around you. Beyond these specific acronyms and structured approaches, truly improving your relationships requires mastering a foundational and often overlooked skill: active listening. Active listening means fully focusing your attention on what the other person is saying, both through their words and their nonverbal cues, without interrupting or mentally planning your own response. It involves asking clarifying questions to ensure you've understood correctly, paraphrasing what you hear to confirm comprehension, and diligently observing their body language and tone of voice for deeper meaning. When you actively listen, you're not just patiently waiting for your turn to speak. You're genuinely trying to step into their shoes and understand their world and perspective from their point of view. This deep level of engagement naturally leads to empathy, which is the profound ability to understand and share the feelings and experiences of another person. Empathy doesn't mean you have to agree with their viewpoint or their choices, but it does mean you acknowledge their feelings as valid and understandable for them in that moment. Showing genuine empathy makes people feel truly seen, profoundly heard, and deeply understood, which is an incredibly powerful builder of trust and lasting connection. It transforms conversations from mere exchanges of information into rich opportunities for genuine human connection and mutual, heartfelt respect. Another critical element for fostering healthier, more robust relationships is consistently practicing clear and direct communication. Often, we mistakenly assume that others inherently know what we're thinking or feeling, or we hint at our needs indirectly instead of stating them explicitly. This tendency can lead to a great deal of frustration, misunderstanding, and unmet expectations, simply because people are not mind readers and cannot guess your unspoken desires. Learning to express your thoughts, feelings, and needs directly using I statements significantly reduces ambiguity and eliminates unnecessary guesswork. For example, instead of saying, "You always leave me to do all the chores," which can sound accusatory, try, "I feel quite overwhelmed when the chores aren't shared evenly. Why?" and I would genuinely appreciate it if we could make a new plan together to divide them. This subtle but powerful shift in language takes the blame out of the conversation and instead focuses on your personal experience and what you specifically need to feel better. Direct communication isn't about being harsh, aggressive, or demanding. It's about being honest, transparent, and respectful in a way that invites cooperation. When you communicate clearly and directly, you give others the best possible chance to understand you fully and respond positively, fostering an environment of openness and mutual respect. Establishing healthy boundaries is absolutely essential for maintaining your self-respect, protecting your energy, and preventing resentment from building up in any relationship. Boundaries are like invisible, personal lines that clearly define what you are comfortable with and what you are not, in terms of your time, emotional space, physical space, and energy. They serve to communicate your limits to others, ensuring that your needs are respected and that you don't inadvertently get taken advantage of or feel overwhelmed. Setting a boundary might mean politely saying no to an invitation when you genuinely need rest, or clearly stating that you're not comfortable discussing a particular sensitive topic. It's crucial to understand that setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away or being unkind. It's fundamentally about protecting yourself and creating necessary space for healthy, balanced interactions to thrive. While it can certainly feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not accustomed to asserting your limits, setting boundaries is a profound act of self-care and self-respect. People who genuinely care about you will ultimately respect your boundaries, even if they might be initially disappointed by your response. Clear, consistent boundaries ultimately lead to stronger, more sustainable relationships because both parties understand and honor each other's individual needs and limits, fostering trust and mutual respect. No matter how strong, loving, or well-established your relationships may be, conflicts are an inevitable and natural part of human interaction. The key isn't to somehow avoid conflict entirely, which is an unrealistic expectation. Instead, it's to learn how to navigate disagreements constructively, respectfully, and with a clear mind. Instead of letting arguments escalate out of control or passively sweeping unresolved issues under the rug, DBT skills teach you to approach conflict as a valuable opportunity for deeper understanding and personal growth. This means actively working to stay calm, utilizing your emotion regulation skills to manage any intense feelings that arise, and focusing squarely on the specific issue at hand rather than resorting to personal attacks or blame. Practice active listening diligently during conflicts, truly hearing and absorbing the other person's side, even if it's difficult or challenging to hear. Work collaboratively towards finding a compromise or a solution that genuinely addresses both parties' needs and concerns, rather than trying to win the argument at all costs. Remember that resolving conflict successfully often involves validating the other person's feelings and perspective, even if you fundamentally disagree with their viewpoint. When handled skillfully and thoughtfully, conflicts can actually strengthen relationships significantly by fostering deeper understanding, building resilient trust, and reinforcing your collective ability to work through challenges together. A cornerstone of truly healthy and fulfilling relationships is finding a delicate balance between your own needs and the needs of others. It's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of either consistently sacrificing your desires for others, often leading to resentment, or always prioritizing yourself, which can alienate those around you. DBT actively encourages a both-and approach, recognizing that it's not only possible, but also profoundly important to honor both sets of needs simultaneously. This balance isn't about a rigid 50-50 split in every single interaction. Instead, it's about maintaining a flexible, compassionate awareness of what is fair, sustainable, and respectful for everyone involved over time. Sometimes you might choose to prioritize a friend's urgent need, offering support and flexibility, and at other times, you might need to assert your own boundaries firmly for your personal self-care and well-being. The skills like Dear Man help you confidently ask for what you need, while Give gently reminds you to consider the relationship, and Fast ensures you always maintain your self-respect and integrity. Constantly evaluating and adjusting this balance prevents emotional burnout and future resentment, ensuring that your relationships remain mutually beneficial and deeply satisfying. Striving for this equilibrium creates a dynamic where everyone feels genuinely valued, respected, and heard, fostering authentic connection and long-term relationship satisfaction. As you consistently apply these powerful DBT skills in your daily interactions, you'll undoubtedly begin to notice a significant and positive shift in the overall quality of your relationships, particularly in terms of building trust and fostering intimacy. Trust naturally grows when others perceive you as reliable, consistently respectful, and someone who communicates openly and honestly with integrity. When you frequently use skills like give, you actively create a safe, welcoming space where people feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable, to share their true selves, and to express their deepest thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. Intimacy, which isn't solely romantic but refers to a deep sense of closeness, connection, and understanding, flourishes beautifully in an environment of mutual understanding, acceptance, and shared vulnerability. By actively listening, validating others' experiences, and consistently being fair, you powerfully demonstrate that you genuinely value the relationship and the unique individual within it. These consistent positive actions build a strong, resilient foundation, allowing for deeper, more meaningful conversations and a profound sense of true belonging. It's through the consistent, mindful application of these DBT skills that superficial interactions can gradually transform into profoundly meaningful, lasting connections that enrich your life immeasurably. Ultimately, building trust and intimacy is about creating relationships where both you and others can truly thrive, feeling secure, authentically yourselves, and deeply connected. Like any new skill you learn, improving your relationships through the application of DBT principles takes consistent practice, unwavering patience, and a generous dose of self-compassion. Don't expect every single conversation to go perfectly right away, and remember to be kind to yourself when you inevitably stumble or make a mistake along the way. Begin by starting small. Choose one specific skill, such as consciously using I statements or actively practicing reflective listening in a low-stakes conversation with someone you trust. Take a few moments to reflect on your interactions afterward. What aspects went particularly well? What could you have approached or done differently next time? It can be incredibly helpful and insightful to role-play challenging scenarios with a trusted friend, a supportive family member, or your therapist, or even to practice your communication in front of a mirror to observe your own delivery. Remember that everyone involved in a relationship is on their own journey of learning and growing, and open communication about your efforts can be immensely beneficial to all parties. The ultimate goal isn't immediate perfection, but rather a continuous, dedicated effort to improve your communication, deepen your understanding, and strengthen your connection with others over time. Embrace the ongoing journey of learning these transformative skills, knowing that each small, intentional step you take contributes significantly to building more fulfilling, resilient, and profoundly satisfying relationships. It's vitally important to remember that the process of improving your relationships doesn't happen in isolation or in a vacuum. It is deeply and intrinsically connected to your ability to effectively manage your own emotions. Before you can truly and effectively use sophisticated skills like Dear Man or Give, you need to establish a solid baseline of emotional regulation within yourself. When you are overwhelmed by intense anger, debilitating anxiety, or profound sadness, it becomes incredibly difficult to communicate clearly, to listen actively without judgment, or to maintain your self-respect during an interaction. The foundational skills you learned in the Managing Intense Emotions section are your bedrock, allowing you to approach interpersonal interactions with a calmer, clearer mind and a more composed demeanor. For example, practicing mindfulness can help you stay present and grounded during a difficult conversation, preventing you from getting swept away by strong, reactive feelings. Similarly, distress tolerance skills can equip you to ride out intense emotions that might arise during a conflict, stopping you from reacting impulsively or destructively. Essentially, being able to regulate your own emotional responses empowers you to engage more effectively, constructively, and compassionately with others in your life. This powerful synergy between managing your inner emotional world and skillfully navigating your outer relational world is precisely what makes DBT such a holistic, comprehensive, and profoundly effective approach to overall well-being and personal growth. Building resilience. Life often throws curveballs, presenting us with unexpected challenges that can feel overwhelming and leave us feeling completely knocked off balance. It's in these moments, when stress mounts and emotions run high, that our inner strength is truly tested. But what if you could not only withstand these pressures, but also emerge from them feeling stronger and more capable than before? This is the essence of building resilience, not just surviving adversity, but actively growing through it and adapting with grace. Resilience isn't a trait you're born with, it's a dynamic process, a set of skills you can cultivate and strengthen over time, much like any muscle in your body. It's about learning to bend without breaking, to find your footing again after a stumble, and to keep moving forward even when the path ahead seems unclear. Embracing this journey means empowering yourself to navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with greater confidence and a deeper sense of inner peace. It's about consciously choosing to build a robust mental and emotional toolkit that serves you well in any storm. At its core, resilience involves a unique combination of acceptance and active problem solving, both of which are central to the Dialectical Behavior Therapy, DBT, framework. DBT doesn't just teach you to cope with difficult emotions. It provides a comprehensive roadmap for developing the very qualities that underpin a resilient life. Each skill you've learned, from the mindful observation of your thoughts to effectively communicating your needs, contributes significantly to your overall capacity to bounce back. Think of it as weaving a strong, intricate safety net for yourself, one strand at a time, using the diverse tools DBT offers. This integrated approach ensures that you're not just patching up individual problems, but systematically building a robust foundation for enduring well-being. It's about creating a sustainable way of living that supports your mental and emotional health, even when circumstances are less than ideal. Every skill you practice becomes a thread in this protective weave, making you more adaptable and less susceptible to being completely undone by life's hardships. Mindfulness, the very first module in DBT, lays a crucial groundwork for resilience by teaching you to stay grounded in the present moment. When you are truly present, you can observe your thoughts and feelings without immediately being swept away by them, creating a vital space between stimulus and response. This ability to step back and notice what is happening, both internally and externally, without judgment, prevents emotional reactions from spiraling out of control. It allows you to gain perspective, to recognize that a difficult moment is just that, a moment, rather than an all-consuming reality. By practicing mindfulness, you cultivate a sense of inner calm and clarity, which are indispensable when facing stressful situations. This foundation enables you to make more thoughtful choices, rather than acting impulsively out of intense emotion, making it a cornerstone for developing true resilience. It's about intentionally training your mind to be an anchor, rather than a ship caught in a storm. Emotion regulation skills are indispensable for building resilience because they equip you with the ability to understand, manage, and even change intense emotional responses. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, sadness, or anxiety, you learn to identify the triggers, analyze the function of your emotions, and apply specific strategies to reduce their intensity. This mastery over your emotional landscape prevents emotional dysregulation from derailing your progress or causing lasting damage during challenging times. When you can skillfully navigate your inner world, you are far better prepared to face external pressures without crumbling under their weight. It means learning to surf the waves of emotion rather than being pulled under by them, maintaining your equilibrium even when the waters are turbulent. This conscious effort to manage your feelings allows you to allocate your energy more effectively toward problem solving and growth, rather than being consumed by distress. Ultimately, it empowers you to be the conductor of your emotional orchestra, rather than a mere listener. Distress tolerance skills are the ultimate tools for resilience when you find yourself in a crisis, providing ways to get through difficult moments without making things worse. Life inevitably presents situations that cannot be immediately fixed, and during these times, the ability to endure intense pain without resorting to destructive coping mechanisms is paramount. Techniques like radical acceptance help you acknowledge the reality of a painful situation, reducing the suffering that comes from fighting against what is. Self-soothing strategies, on the other hand, offer healthy ways to comfort and care for yourself when overwhelmed, preventing burnout and promoting emotional recovery. These skills teach you that you can withstand discomfort and pain, fostering a deep sense of inner strength and self-efficacy. They are your emergency toolkit, allowing you to weather the storm until a solution can be found, or until the intensity naturally subsides. By learning to tolerate distress, you build confidence in your capacity to survive and recover from even the most challenging experiences, knowing you have the tools to pull through. Interpersonal effectiveness skills contribute to resilience by helping you navigate your relationships effectively, which are a vital source of support during tough times. Building and maintaining healthy connections with others provides a safety net, offering comfort, advice, and practical help when you need it most. These skills empower you to communicate your needs clearly, set healthy boundaries, and resolve conflicts constructively, preventing relational stress from adding to your burden. Knowing how to ask for what you need and how to say no respectfully strengthens your social support system, making you less isolated when facing adversity. Furthermore, effectively managing your interactions reduces unnecessary drama and misunderstanding, preserving your emotional energy for more significant challenges. A strong network of supportive relationships acts as a buffer against life's stressors, proving that you don't have to face everything alone. It's about cultivating connections that uplift and sustain you, rather than drain your precious resources. An often overlooked yet incredibly powerful aspect of resilience is self-compassion, which involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. When facing setbacks or making mistakes, it's easy to fall into a trap of self-criticism and judgment, which only depletes your emotional reserves and hinders your ability to bounce back. Self-compassion encourages you to acknowledge your suffering, recognize that imperfection is part of the human experience, and offer yourself warmth and acceptance. This gentle approach fosters a sense of inner safety and security, allowing you to learn from your experiences without being paralyzed by shame or fear. It's about being your own ally rather than your harshest critic, especially when you are feeling vulnerable or inadequate. By cultivating self-compassion, you replenish your emotional energy, build confidence in your inherent worth, and create a nurturing inner environment that promotes healing and growth. This gentle acceptance is a foundational pillar that supports all other resilience-building efforts. Acceptance, particularly radical acceptance, is another cornerstone for building lasting resilience. It doesn't mean condoning or liking a difficult situation, but rather acknowledging reality exactly as it is, without fighting against it or wishing it were different. So much of our suffering comes from resisting what we cannot change, expending vast amounts of energy on futile struggles. When you radically accept a painful truth, you free up that energy, allowing you to rechannel it towards problem-solving, self-care, or finding meaning in your experience. This doesn't mean giving up. It means wisely choosing your battles and focusing your efforts where they can actually make a difference. It helps you move past the initial shock or anger, opening the door for constructive action and emotional healing. By embracing acceptance, you learn to let go of what is beyond your control, fostering a profound sense of peace and enabling you to adapt more effectively to life's unalterable circumstances. It's about finding freedom in acknowledging reality rather than being trapped by resistance. Developing a growth mindset is integral to resilience, transforming challenges from insurmountable obstacles into valuable opportunities for learning and personal development. Instead of viewing failures as proof of inadequacy, A growth mindset encourages you to see them as temporary setbacks that provide crucial feedback for improvement. This perspective shifts your focus from what went wrong to what you can learn and how you can grow stronger. It means believing in your ability to develop new skills, adapt to new situations, and overcome difficulties through effort and persistence. This optimistic outlook fuels motivation, encourages experimentation, and fosters a sense of agency over your own life trajectory. By consciously cultivating a growth mindset, you empower yourself to embrace discomfort, step outside your comfort zone, and continuously evolve, making you more adaptable and less fearful of the unknown. It transforms the very nature of adversity, turning potential stumbling blocks into stepping stones on your path to a more resilient self. Practically speaking, building resilience involves consistent, intentional practice of these DBT skills in your daily life. Start by integrating mindfulness into your routine, taking a few moments each day to observe your breath or surroundings without judgment. When emotions run high, consciously apply your emotion regulation strategies, such as checking the facts or opposite action before reacting impulsively. In stressful moments, reach for your distress tolerance skills, like TIP, temperature, intense exercise, paced breathing, paired muscle relaxation, to calm your nervous system. Actively work on your interpersonal effectiveness by practicing assertive communication and setting clear boundaries in your relationships. Remember to practice self-compassion, especially when you feel like you've fallen short, offering yourself gentle understanding rather than harsh criticism. Regularly reflecting on how you've used these skills helps reinforce their effectiveness and strengthens your belief in your ability to navigate future challenges. Each deliberate application of a skill is a small but significant step in fortifying your inner resilience, making these practices a routine part of your life. The journey of building resilience is rarely a straight line. It's more like a winding path with occasional detours and bumps along the way. There will be days when you feel strong and capable, and other days when you feel overwhelmed and discouraged. It's important to remember that resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about how you pick yourself back up, learn from the experience, and continue moving forward. Be patient and kind with yourself throughout this process, recognizing that growth takes time and consistent effort. Celebrate your small victories, acknowledging every instance where you skillfully applied a DBT technique or chose a healthier coping mechanism. These moments reinforce your progress and build confidence in your ability to handle future challenges. View setbacks not as failures, but as valuable learning opportunities that refine your skills and deepen your understanding of yourself. This continuous cycle of learning, adapting, and growing is what truly defines resilience, making it a lifelong, evolving process. Ultimately, building resilience is about weaving together all the threads of DBT into a cohesive tapestry that supports your well-being. Mindfulness helps you stay present and aware. Emotion regulation empowers you to manage your feelings. Distress tolerance equips you to survive crises. And interpersonal effectiveness allows you to build a supportive network. When these skills are integrated, they create a powerful synergy, enhancing your ability to cope with stress, adapt to change, and thrive in the face of adversity. It's not about mastering one skill in isolation, but understanding how each one complements and strengthens the others, forming a holistic approach to life's challenges. This integration allows you to respond to situations with flexibility and wisdom, drawing on the most appropriate tools for the moment. By applying these interconnected principles, you cultivate an enduring inner strength that not only helps you navigate difficult times, but also empowers you to create a life filled with purpose, meaning, and emotional freedom. This comprehensive approach is your ultimate investment in your own enduring well-being and happiness. Coping with stress and crisis life, with all its beauty and complexity, inevitably brings moments of intense stress and outright crisis. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They are those overwhelming times when it feels like the ground beneath you has shifted, or you're caught in a rip current you didn't see coming. Maybe it's a sudden loss, a devastating betrayal, an unexpected health scare, or an intense emotional flashback that feels just as real as a physical threat. During these challenging periods, our usual coping mechanisms might feel insufficient or worse, they might lead us down paths that only make things harder in the long run. The good news is that Dialectical Behavior Therapy, or DBT, offers a powerful toolkit specifically designed to help you navigate these storms without capsizing. This secti will introduce you to practical, evidence-based strategies that can help you survive even the toughest moments, ensuring you don't inadvertently create more problems while trying to escape pain. It's about finding your footing when everything feels unstable and building a reliable lifeboat for when the waves get too high. When you're caught in the grip of extreme emotional pain or a truly difficult situation, the natural impulse is often to make the feeling stop immediately, no matter the cost. This urge can be incredibly powerful, sometimes leading to impulsive actions that we later regret, like lashing out at loved ones, isolating ourselves completely, or engaging in unhealthy behaviors. This is precisely where the DBT module of distress tolerance comes into play, offering a different, healthier approach. Instead of trying to eliminate the pain, which is often impossible in the short term, distress tolerance skills teach you how to simply get through the crisis without making things worse. It's about accepting that some pain is unavoidable, at least for a while, and learning to ride the wave until it passes, rather than fighting against it and exhausting yourself. These skills are your emergency kit for when life hits hard, giving you concrete ways to manage intense emotions and difficult situations without losing control. Understanding the core goal of distress tolerance is crucial. It's not about liking the pain, nor is it about pretending it doesn't exist. Rather, it's about acknowledging the reality of a painful situation or overwhelming emotion and choosing to endure it skillfully without resorting to destructive coping mechanisms. Imagine being in a burning building. Your immediate goal isn't to put out the fire, but to safely evacuate. Similarly, in a crisis, your primary aim is to survive the moment, protecting yourself from further harm, both emotional and physical. This temporary survival strategy creates space for your emotions to naturally de-escalate, allowing you to eventually think more clearly and apply other DBT skills like emotion regulation or problem solving. It's about buying yourself time and maintaining your dignity and well-being until the intensity subsides, setting the stage for more effective long-term solutions. Among the most immediate and impactful distress tolerance techniques are the crisis survival skills, often remembered by the acronym TIP. These skills are designed to quickly change your body chemistry and physiological response to intense emotional arousal, essentially shocking your system out of crisis mode. When emotions feel too strong to bear, our bodies often go into overdrive, triggering the fight or flight response. TIP skills directly target this physiological reaction, helping to rapidly bring down the intensity of your emotional experience. They are your first line of defense when you feel like you're spiraling, offering concrete actions you can take to regain a sense of control over your body and mind. Let's delve into each component of TIP, understanding how these simple yet powerful actions can make a profound difference in a moment of acute distress. The T in TIP stands for temperature, and this skill involves rapidly changing your body temperature, particularly by using cold. When you're feeling incredibly overwhelmed or on the verge of a panic attack, splashing very cold water on your face or holding an ice pack to your face, neck, or wrists can be surprisingly effective. This immediate cold sensation triggers the mammalian diving reflex, which naturally slows your heart rate and calms your nervous system. It's like a reset button for your body, diverting your attention from the emotional storm to the physical sensation of the cold and physically reducing your body's stress response. You might try filling a bowl with ice water and holding your breath while submerging your face for 30 seconds, or simply placing a cold, wet cloth on your forehead. This quick, physiological shift can often be enough to break the cycle of escalating emotion and give you a precious moment of relief. Next up is I for intense exercise, a powerful way to release pent-up energy and emotional tension that often accompanies stress and crisis. When you're flooded with strong emotions like anger, anxiety, or even despair, your body is often primed for action, filled with adrenaline and cortisol. Engaging in vigorous physical activity, even for a short burst of 10 to 20 minutes, can help burn off these stress chemicals and redirect your focus. Think about sprinting in place, doing jumping jacks, running up and down stairs, or pushing against a wall with all your might. The key is to choose an activity that is physically demanding enough to genuinely tire you out and shift your physiological state. This isn't about solving the problem, but about moving the intense energy through your body in a healthy way, providing a much-needed emotional release and a temporary distraction from the crisis. The first P in tip refers to paced breathing, a fundamental skill for calming your nervous system and promoting relaxation. When we're stressed or in crisis, our breathing often becomes shallow, rapid, and irregular, which further fuels anxiety and panic. By intentionally slowing down and regulating your breath, you send a signal to your brain that you are safe, counteracting the fight or flight response. A common technique is diaphragmatic breathing, where you breathe deeply from your belly, inhaling slowly through your nose for a count of 4, holding for a count of 2, and then exhaling slowly through your mouth for a count of 6 or 8. Focusing on the rhythm of your breath and the sensation of air entering and leaving your body helps ground you in the present moment. Practicing paced breathing regularly can make it a powerful tool for self-soothing during times of intense emotional distress. Finally, the second P in tip stands for paired muscle relaxation, a technique that helps you become more aware of physical tension and intentionally release it. When we're stressed, our muscles often clench without us even realizing it, contributing to feelings of anxiety and discomfort. This skill involves systematically tensing and then relaxing different muscle groups throughout your body. For example, you might clench your fists tightly for 5 seconds, then fully release the tension, noticing the difference between the contracted and relaxed state. Move through your body, from your toes to your head, tensing and relaxing each group. This practice not only helps to physically alleviate muscle tension, but also teaches your mind how to consciously let go of stress, fostering a deeper sense of calm and control over your physical responses to emotional turmoil. Beyond the immediate physiological shifts of tip, another powerful set of distress tolerance skills involves actively engaging your senses to self-soothe and ground yourself. When emotions feel overwhelming, our minds can race, getting stuck in loops of worry or despair. Redirecting your attention to your 5 senses can pull you back into the present moment and offer comfort. Think about what you can see that is calming or beautiful, like a flickering candle or a favorite photograph. What sounds are soothing, perhaps gentle music, nature sounds, or even the hum of a fan? How can you engage your sense of smell, maybe with an essential oil, a favorite lotion, or the aroma of a comforting tea? Consider what textures feel good to touch, like a soft blanket, a warm stone, or the smooth surface of a worry stone. Finally, what tastes can offer comfort, such as a warm drink, a piece of dark chocolate, or a mint. Deliberately engaging one or more of your senses can create a mini retreat from distress, providing a gentle yet effective way to calm your internal storm. Sometimes you're not in a full-blown crisis, but you're still experiencing significant distress that you can't immediately change. In these situations, DBT offers skills to improve the moment, helping you shift your emotional state without necessarily solving the underlying problem right away. The acronym ACCEPTS helps categorize these strategies: activities, contributing, comparisons, emotions, generating different ones, pushing away, thoughts, other thoughts, and sensations. For instance, engaging in a pleasant activity you enjoy, like reading or gardening, can provide a much-needed break. Contributing to others, even in small ways, can boost your mood and sense of purpose. Comparing your situation to those less fortunate can offer perspective, or comparing your current coping to past, less effective coping can highlight your progress. These skills are about consciously choosing to infuse your present moment with something more positive or distracting, rather than letting distress consume you. Continuing with improve the moment strategies, generating different emotions might involve watching a funny video or listening to uplifting music to shift your mood. Pushing away means temporarily distracting yourself from painful thoughts or memories by focusing intensely on something else for a short period. Engaging with other thoughts involves actively replacing negative thought patterns with more neutral or positive ones, such as solving a puzzle or reading an interesting article. Finally, Focusing on intense sensations like a strong flavor or a hot shower can ground you. Beyond accepts, another important skill for improving your overall well-being and resilience is PLEASE, which stands for treating physical illness, balancing eating, avoiding altering drugs, balancing sleep, and getting exercise. These are foundational self-care practices that, when consistently applied, build your capacity to handle stress and reduce the frequency and intensity of crises. While many distress tolerance skills focus on getting through the immediate pain, another profound aspect is radical acceptance. This isn't about approving of a difficult situation or resigning yourself to it passively, but rather about fully acknowledging and accepting reality exactly as it is, without fighting against it. When we resist what is, whether it's a painful past event, an unchangeable present circumstance, or a strong emotion, we often compound our suffering. Radical acceptance involves observing the facts of a situation, letting go of bitterness, and turning your mind towards acceptance, even if it feels incredibly difficult. It means recognizing that some things are simply beyond our control and that fighting against reality only prolongs our anguish. By accepting what cannot be changed, you free up immense energy that was previously spent on resistance, allowing you to move forward with greater peace and clarity. Learning to cope with stress and crisis is an ongoing journey, not a destination, and these DBT skills are your companions on that path. It's important to remember that you don't need to master every single skill immediately. Instead, focus on practicing one or two that resonate most with you during moments of lower intensity. The more you practice these distress tolerance techniques, the more readily available they will be when truly difficult situations arise. Think of them as building muscle memory for your emotional resilience. These skills empower you to navigate life's inevitable challenges with greater strength, self-compassion, and a sense of agency, transforming moments of overwhelming crisis into opportunities for skillful survival and growth. You have the tools to weather the storm, and with consistent practice, you'll discover an inner fortitude you might not have realized was there all along.